Hello, Lauderdale County. This is James Barbie, the Director of Technology and Communications for Lauderdale County Schools. Thank you for joining us on Let's Get Connected, where we discuss our new district initiative, Rooms. I have a special guest that's going to conduct this interview today.
I'm Dennis Hardy. I'm a senior at Halls High School, and I'm in Miss Knowles' Marketing Management program. Now, Mr. Barbie, I've heard a lot about this new service coming out called Rooms. What exactly is Rooms?
Rooms is a two-way communication platform between families and teachers that allows for both parties to send direct messages to one another. So it allows for parents and teachers to communicate about student performance, any questions about student behavior or concerns with student behavior, and things of that nature that pertain to that student. It also allows families to see information about specific classroom assignments and any other entities.
Mr. Barbie, nowadays communication between parents and teachers is easier than ever. There are apps like Class Dojo and Remind. How is Rooms different than these apps?
So all three of those apps you just mentioned, Dennis, provide the same thing. They allow for families and teachers to communicate about student progress and performance. However, Class Dojo and Remind all depend on teachers creating that group and then giving that code information to parents. So at the start of year, usually on registration day, teachers provide a code that says you can have access to information for math or for English or for science. Well, that puts the pressure back on parents to have to sign up with those codes and to make sure they're enrolled in all the classes for all of their children. Rooms takes away that aspect, and it connects with our student information system, which is PowerSchool, and it goes ahead and creates the Remind groups or the messaging groups for our teachers, and it automatically enrolls parents each year so that they never have to sign up for a code again.
My parents have a question about my grades and how I'm doing in my classes. Who can they bring their concerns to?
So the best place for them to start would be with your teachers, as they're the ones who have the best picture of your academic performance and your behavior. There are times that your parents may need to get in touch with another member of the school team, though. They may need to get in touch with the school nurse, they might need to speak with a school counselor, or even a member of the school administrative team. But their best place to start for any concern is usually with their classroom teacher. That way they get the best perspective.
With direct access that families have to their teachers, such as the service Rooms, what are response times? What are they going to look like?
So response times for our teachers will look a little bit different. With a messaging platform such as Rooms, it could potentially be a 24/7, 365 obligation. While we definitely want to have consistent communication for our students and their families, we also have to honor the fact that our teachers have their own families as well. So our district will be incorporating quiet hours, so that will go from 3:30 p.m. to 7 a.m. the next morning, which doesn't mean that parents can't send messages. Parents can still send messages during those times. It's just there's an understanding that sometimes those teachers may not respond during those quiet hours, especially if they're taking care of things for their own family. For instance, if it's just a quick question of what's tomorrow's homecoming dress-up day, they may go ahead and respond. But if it's a question that's more in depth, that they need to conduct some research or gather some student information together before they respond, then they may not respond immediately so that they can gather the necessary information to answer the question.
Screenshotting nowadays is a huge problem to our online and virtual privacy. What can parents and teachers do to help prevent against this?
So one of the main things from teachers is that we will not send out another student's name or information when we discuss the situation. So for instance, if you and I are in class together and we get into an argument, our teacher will send different messages to our families. Yours would get a message that says Dennis and another student were involved in an argument. Mine would say James and another student. Because we're not allowed to share that type of information with another family. So we'll definitely make sure that we protect another student's privacy and only speak to families about their particular child.
Communication using text messaging or direct messaging can often be misinterpreted. What can parents and teachers do to help prevent against this?
So one thing to be mindful of is that when you move from a phone call conversation to text, you lose that tone that's meant by the other person. Like if we're talking to each other now, we can hear and feel each other's tones. When we're speaking over text or through direct message, that aspect is removed. So as we move forward in working with Rooms, we definitely want to make sure that our families and our teachers speak to each other from a place of respect. We want to seek to answer or to have things answered, not to make assumptions or accuse people of a certain perspective. We've got to work together as both the families and the teachers to support our students. And so we just want to make sure that we not only understand our perspective of a situation, but that we seek to understand the other parties as well.
Well, Mr. Barbie, that's all the questions that I have. Thank you for agreeing to this interview.
Thank you, Dennis, for having me. And I think, aren't you guys working on something here at
Yes,
Halls High
sir.
School?
A weekly podcast.
Oh, wow. So big things are coming out soon for
big
Halls
things.
High School.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to seeing it. And Lauderdale County, thank you for joining us on Let's Get Connected.